Eminem comes out of nowhere, releases a surprise album, and I don't know what it is with Eminem about how he does this, how he can stay so quiet, how the heck someone could just drop an album and surprise everyone. He's done that twice. And I think that's what definitely makes it impactful. Something that people can definitely learn is that when you drop an album, you know, in a surprised way, people are shocked, and it's Eminem. You know, so Eminem, how I feel about this album. Like, Eminem is definitely always going to be a GOAT, no matter what. There's got to be people who you put, like Lil Wayne, who I think Drake will become, that can never, you can't really say much bad about them. But I want to talk about this album as it is, the album as Eminem laid it out. Music Murdered By, it's called. It's trending, and it was released, Music to Be Murdered By. It's trending, and it's released during, you know, I guess the same day as Mac Miller's Circles album, which is kind of insane. I don't know if that, obviously that wasn't planned, because I think Mac Miller's album, I don't know what has taken away from what. Did Mac Miller take away from Eminem's, or Eminem's take away from Mac Miller's? But Eminem, I think, is, as of now, taking the #1 spot, and is above probably in numbers Mac Miller's album. But I think it's totally not different. Obviously, they're both hip hop, but two different sounds. So I think it doesn't really, you know, it's not that much of a big deal. But so Eminem's album, Music to Be Murdered By, obviously Eminem, and he has the cover of the album. It's him standing with a shovel. And I don't know if that's kind of like a meme on, you know, because I always thought like the whole MGK thing was funny with when he made the Eminem diss track, and he was holding a shovel. I always thought it was ridiculous. I think it's almost, I don't know if it's like not a dig, because in one of his songs he kind of like concludes the beef between him and MGK, but for him holding the shovel is just kind of like a meme of the MGK situation. But I think the Kamikaze album has brought Eminem to this level of now releasing, like getting back on track, trying to release an album. The one thing I'm a little wary about is like, does he put new artists on there because he respects new artists? Does he put the artists he respects? Or does he put that to kind of create some kind of buzz? Because sometimes when I hear some of the music that he has with a new artist, it almost feels like there's not a disconnection, but I don't know if they really were in the studio together. It's kind of like you do your verse, and I do my verse, and we'll put it together in production, which probably that's how a lot of music is done today anyway. But sometimes I don't know. Like, my favorite song on that album, or one of the favorite songs, is the Eminem and Young M.A. song. It's called Unaccommodating, featuring Young M.A. Young M.A. is insane on that song. Like, the track is it's hot. Like, I don't want to say I can't say she's outdone. I almost want to say, I don't know whose verse was better. But that Young M.A. verse is sick. It's fire, it's insane. And I don't want to say it's better than Eminem's, but it isn't better, because, right? I mean, it's just like both better than, but it's just amazing how a Young M.A., how you can hear a new artist and see how they can be almost on the same page as Eminem. And why he chose Young M.A., or how that duo came about, like, was it him choosing Young M.A.? Like, it's such a crazy, like, I don't want to say like just two kind of like opposite worlds, like Eminem and then like Young M.A., you know, this white rapper and this, you know, black lesbian, you know, rapper, which is all good, but they come together to make this song, who seem like they come from different worlds, but hip hop puts them on the same track. And Young M.A. to me is just insane. It's accommodating. I love that song. But again, I don't know like to what degree. I know Eminem doesn't like a lot of the new, or kind of makes fun of the new artists, and I guess he sees Young M.A. as not one of those people. And I just want to ask Eminem, like, is it that you don't see it as one of those people, or is she like a ploy in the thing to kind of get in people's faces? And I guess that's okay too, because you got to kind of like do that in this day and age. But I just want to make sure he respects new artists. But Young M.A. is, and then Eminem comes in. It's just a great duo. The chemistry between Young M.A. and Eminem is sick. The Unaccommodating sound is sick. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. So I want to talk about the part in the Unaccommodating song where Eminem has this controversial line, and it's trending, you know, on Twitter, and people are mad at him, you know, for these controversial lines. And the line the line in the lyric goes, but it seems like the more they study my music, the more they remind me of my eyeballs. I'm watching my pupils get cornier, but I'm contemplating yelling bombs away on the game like I'm outside of an Ariana Grande concert waiting. And then he goes on with the chorus. They call me Saddam Hussein, Ayatollah Khomeini. Where's Osama been? I've been Laden lately. Look at how I'm behaving. They want me gone away. They want to Joe Benaimi. So you know, a lot of people have tweeted that this was insensitive, you know, to joke or infuse like the situation of the bombing of the Ariana Grande, you know, concert, or you know, and what has happened there, to put it in your lyric. And it's controversial. I don't know how people feel in hip hop. I would say there's two things. How I feel about it is there's two things, right? The first thing is, if you're connected, right, if something like that has happened to you personally, if that situation and you lost someone there, it hurts. I can't imagine like how that feels to hear it, right? If you know, had a family member, or you knew friends, or you were there, to hear the joke about it, you know, or I don't know if he's joking, just infusing it. It's metaphorical too, right? But it hurts. At the same time, like, rap has been, and poetry has always been infused with, you know, metaphors and similes that, you know, you put together not because you're mocking something, but you're trying to make something impactful. So it's not like when he says, I want to yell bombs away on the game, like he's talking about the rap game, like it's like he wants to slaughter the rap game, right? It's a metaphor, or a simile in this case, where he says like the, you know, the bombing of Ariana Grande's concert, you know. And it's not that I think he's trying to like say, right, anything that's okay, but they're using like a metaphor, right? And even like it goes in the history of hip hop where Biggie says blow up like the World Trade, right? And then that's become cut out because since the World Trade Center is what happened, it feels insensitive and it hurts people, so they feel like, you know, it's offensive, so they cut it out. But I don't, and that's the thing. Like, is that okay in hip hop? But it's a very common thing. Eminem's not the first person to do it. Biggie's done it. Trippie Redd does it a lot. People have done it a lot when they. Trippie Redd has a song where he says Columbine, you know, and it's like, you know, referencing like the shooting, you know, and things like that, like as if you're gonna shoot or spit or whatever. But rappers have used, you know, definitely like key like negative things, that incidences that has happened, and like people who are quote unquote, you know, enemies, you know, of the state, have used them as always references, as metaphors and similes. And I think if you take that away from hip hop, or you take that away from the song, I don't think it's fair, because I don't know where's the freedom of speech. It could be insensitive, and I think we can be at a place where we say, hey, it's okay to do, but it's offensive. I think we have to be okay with a place like that, because if we take away everything that's offensive, we're not going to get good music, we're not going to get good poetry, we're not going to get things that are just freedom of speech, right? Things that people want to say and do. You know, we can't take that away. So I think we have to be okay with saying, hey, you know what, Eminem, that was offensive, but you know, at the same time, he has the freedom of speech to incorporate that in a hip hop song. And I don't think that he meant it in a way that is to dig or to throw that was, you know, something positive, obviously, you know. But again, then he goes on to list all those like Saddam Hussein's and the Bin Laden or whatever. And that's been something in the history of hip hop that's been done. So that's my opinion on it. I don't know what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Is it okay or not okay for him to joke about those things? I'm not super crazy about the song with Ed Sheeran and then the In Too Deep, which is kind of like about a girl. I look at Eminem like, I don't know. I don't really want to see an Eminem and Ed Sheeran collaboration. I don't know what his deal is with that. Like, if he did that because he wanted to, you know, get into that scene, you know, kind of transcend to the pop, which he has already like transcended. But I mean, like, get into that sound. He's never really left hip hop, you know, and get the Ed Sheeran audience. But I don't want to see that personally as a hip hop head. I don't want to ever hear Eminem talking about girls that much, or trying to like the romantic part of it. I think that side of it of Slim Shady I don't want to hear. So I just skip that. The Godzilla and the Juice Wrld song is sick. I really wish there was a Juice Wrld verse on the Godzilla song, but it was a chorus. And the chorus, Juice WRLD's chorus, is amazing. I don't know if like Eminem's paid for that verse, or Eminem paid, you know, Juice WRLD's, you know, estate to get that chorus, but it's such a good song. And if he did, he probably paid a lot, because that verse looks like that would have been after Juice WRLD's passing, you know, something that if I'd heard that as an original Juice WRLD song, would be like, oh, that is fire, I want to hear some Juice, you know. And to take that and put on an Eminem song is different. And I don't know, like, I love this song. And again, there does feel like this, like, it's a good chemistry. It's like there's chemistry, but there feels like somewhat of a like that these were just like a Juice chorus that he bought and put on, you know, onto his song to get the buzz. Like Eminem, do you really like Juice Wrld? You know, R.I.P. Juice Wrld. You know, or is it because of the buzz? But that's another conversation. Whether he does or doesn't, I have to say it's still a good chemistry. It's still a good song. It's still like I like it a lot, you know. And the Godzilla verse, I love this I love this song, and I really feel like it brings Juice back. It almost feels like he's carrying. I don't want to say carrying Eminem, but this song almost makes it feel like Eminem is like an artist that Juice is not the bigger artist, but the artist carrying the song. And I think that's out of respect. Like I love the collaboration. And just to hear Juice again just feels so good, you know. And I think that's what makes that song so good. Let's go to the next song. My next favorite song on the album is the Ya 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 song, where it's a sample of Busta Rhymes' Ya 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 Ya, you know. And there's Black Thought, Q-Tip on there. I doubt a lot of people are gonna know that those features, you know, Q-Tip being part of a Tribe Called Quest a long time ago, Black Thought being part of the Roots, you know, in the 90s, and Black Thought now being, I don't know if he's on the Jimmy Fallon show or if the Roots are on the Jimmy Fallon. I'm not sure. Does Black Thought still rap? Because I don't watch the Jimmy Fallon show, but I believe the Roots are all part of that. They're the band, the resident band for the show. And so I think people might know that. But Q-Tip was one of the really great artists of our time, of like the hip hop in general. Q-Tip of Tribe Called Quest was in the 90s was one of those like rap bands that were rap crews that were like really well known and took hip hop to another level. So it was really nice to hear them all on here. I think Q-Tip does the chorus. I couldn't really find Q-Tip's part on here, but I think he does the chorus. Black Thought's verse on here is like insane. You know, Black Thought again. He's ill. He brings, you know, the fire. He brings the dope lyrics. And I don't know what a lot of people of today who listen to hip hop, how they feel, like the younger kids. I'm not sure if they see Black Thought as that being a dope artist. But one thing that I did notice from here is that a lot of the older artists don't seem to really move that much with the times. Like Black Thought, even though I've always loved the Roots. The Roots were one of the best rap crews in hip hop, and Black Thought is one of the best rappers ever to do it. But when you see them in modern times, like I don't know if they mesh well, you know, with the current state of hip hop. So I think this is a way that Eminem introduces people to the older art of hip hop. And I question, you know, again, it's a question of, can these older artists, and I think like Redman now released a nice song, can they do it, you know, and stay on, you know, and can they mix well? And Eminem, I guess, is trying to do that. I guess you gotta bring the artist. But that leads me to question. Eminem's sound hasn't really changed much, right? The Eminem that you hear now is very similar to the Eminem you heard back then. And it's very interesting, right? Because like I said, I did a video on Mac Miller. If you think of, or XXXTentacion, if you go back to their first songs, then you hear the later songs, you see this transcendence of their tracks and their music. Eminem still sounds like Eminem. And you can look at that for as good or bad. Is that something that is okay to sound like the same? Or should Eminem kind of like go a little bit with the new sound, you know? And I don't think he has really, but I do think what he has done well is bring some new artists here, these features, to kind of like throw it in your face, like, hey, I'm still up with the times. I'm gonna put Young M.A. on here, and I'm gonna put Juice Wrld on here. So here you go, and I'm gonna let you know what I'm about. So kind of a way to bring his voice into the current, you know, state of hip hop. So whether it's like he can't mesh well, or he's saying, hey, I can't mesh well, I'm just gonna show you what I'm about, what my voice is about. I'm gonna bring my voice, my old voice, to this current state of hip hop. And I think that's Eminem's what he's doing here with this album. I'm not gonna do every song. I love the Don Toliver feature. Again, I love the songs I love are the ones he does with the newer artists, and I think that's just really important. Hats off to Eminem for doing this. I like a few of the songs, are some of my favorites. I don't like every song, but I think Eminem is one of the best to do it. I think this is showing that he's here, that he's gonna keep coming out, that he's gonna try to stay in touch and always watch what's happening in the rap game and kind of come out and do what he has to do. So like and subscribe. Comment below, tell me what you think of the new Eminem album.